our Costa Rica presentation.
Presented and made by Kale Austin Weaver and Madison Davila Deptawa.
Before we start, we should introduce ourselves and how we already know each other. Hola, me llamo Kale Austin. We have picked Costa Rica for our project. I picked Madison because we were co-workers before at Baskin-Robbins.
Hola, me llamo Madison.
Working together was easy since we're already friends and we talked and texted about the project, making it easier than communicating on Canvas.
This project was easier to work through since we have known each other for a while now. Nosotros trabajamos together previously and now on this project. Costa Rican history and culture, the many people and languages. Costa Rica important information. Costa Rica is generally known to be a smaller country located in Central America. With the world map, one would notice that Costa Rica is neighbored by the countries of Nicaragua and Panama. La capital de Costa Rica es San Jose. This country is mainly known for its beaches, but about 25% of Costa Rica is covered by jungles, which is the home to many different species. Costa Rica's currency is colon. Since Costa Rica is considered a third world country, most of their income comes from the tourism. They're thought to be democratic and have not had an army in almost 75 years. Costa Rica fue uno de los miembros de la Nación Unida. Costa Rican languages. In Costa Rica, Spanish is considered to be the official language. While Spanish is widely spoken, there are also people that speak other languages, such as English, Indian languages, and Creole. Most newspapers are written in Spanish, but in areas populated by lots of tourists, English is used more frequently. Some business owners will assist with accommodations, or tourists depend on the languages that they speak. One of the most well-known mergers of slang in America, and more specifically Costa Rica, is called pachuco. This is widely used by pretty much all social classes, though it's sometimes considered informal and vulgar. This version of slang had a negative connotation associated with it. Las diferentes personas de Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, there are almost 5 million people, which seems like a lot, but they only rank 122nd in the population count of each country, according to worldometers.info. Costa Rica se considera que es una ola de fundición. Tener muchos grupos de etnias diferentes. The country has a little bit of everywhere, ranging from English to African to much more. Costa Rica has a layered diversity throughout the country. The locals are also called ticos, most of which being catizos. In Costa Rica, almost 4/5 of the population come from European descent. While there is a very small Chinese population, there is less than 1% of indigenous people or Indians in Costa Rica today. Costa Rica is known for having a very large percent of its population coming from some sort of Spanish descent. Hay una serie de diferentes grupos étnicos que hace que este país se diferente.
The most popular dishes in Costa Rica. Kel goes to a Costa Rican restaurant, but he wants to get special Costa Rican dishes, so he asks the waiter to point out some traditional and favorite foods of Costa Rica. The waiter highlights and points out some for Kel to try. Starting with appetizers. Gallo Pinto. Gallo Pinto is a breakfast dish made up mainly of beans and rice, with added seasonings and sauces. This dish is seen as a staple of Costa Rica, and it even spawned the phrase, más tico que el gallo pinto, which means more Costa Rican than spotted rooster, basically saying you won't get more Costa Rican than this dish. This goes best in the morning, but also, as we'll see soon, works as a side dish as well. Fun fact, translated gallo pinto means spotted rooster. Moving on to the entrees. El casado. Traditionally, a lunch or dinner meal, el casado has a variety of elements that are commonly interchanged depending on the person's tastes. It usually has rice and beans, as previously stated to be gallo pinto, a couple of different vegetables, a choice of meat, varying from steak to fish to chicken or even pork. This meal became famous for feeding big families who needed a quick and efficient fill-up. This was the perfect choice, having everything from proteins to carbohydrates. Fun fact, translated, el casado means the married or the caught. Let's move on to some desserts. Agua con leche. Agua con leche literally translates to milk with water, or water with milk. And that's exactly what it is. Containing either water or milk, these drinks can come in many different varieties. Depending on whether you use more milk or more water will determine also the fruits that you will be using. Fruits more common to Costa Rica are more often used, like Costa Rican blackberries, strawberries, and bananas. This is about the American equivalent to our smoothies or our milkshakes. Fun fact, agua con leche is very easy to make at home, so much so I've gone through the trouble of making one myself.
It was really great tasting and overall very simple to make. I used these ingredients while making it, and I added some of my own little Hershey's syrup strawberry mix. It was great tasting, and I would make it again.
Now for the specials. Arroz con pollo. Arroz con pollo is un plato especial. This dish is eaten most often around birthdays or days of celebration. It's a great tasting food, and it can feed a lot of mouths. It has a mix of varying vegetables and rices depending on who's making it. We also can't forget what brings it all together, el pollo. Fun fact, arroz con pollo goes great with french fries apparently. Finally, we need to move on to the things we can't miss when we go to a Costa Rican food place. Salsa, Lizano, and Costa Rican coffee. You cannot have a meal in Costa Rica without the company of salsa, Lizano, or Costa Rican coffee. Well, these are not special or only in Costa Rica. They are local favorites. Locals find that they can have these with any dish or any time of the day, both seen as staples of Costa Rica by how often they're enjoyed with their meals.
Costa Rica's major holidays. Let's go through and look at some of the most popular holidays in Costa Rica. I've marked the days on the calendar so we can see it a bit more clearly. Festival of the Little Devils, the second half of February. Los Diablitos Games. This holiday is a recreation of the disagreement between two tribes, being the Boruca tribe and the Spanish tribe. It is held in Rica de Boruca. Some of the things that happen include traditional dances, very detailed masks, fireworks and fiestas, the little devils that represent the tribe, and finally the bull that represents the Spanish. As noted on the picture, some sources say that this event takes place during December 30th to January the 2nd, but others say more towards the later half of February. Holy Week, which is held April 14th through April 20th, is a week where this holiday kind of celebrates the Christ's death and his resurrection. This is celebrated for about 7 days since over 75% of the population is Catholic. This is taken very seriously in Costa Rica. Travel has a huge spike, which will lead to the hotels filling up way in advance. During this week, residents of Costa Rica tend to celebrate with huge parades, large amounts of prayer and worship. This happens all over and throughout the streets. Some sources say this event takes place and begins on April 10th and will end on April 16th. Next, we have annexation of Guanacaste, takes place on July the 25th. This is how it started. This is the day that Costa Ricans celebrated when Guanacaste picked them instead of Nicaragua back in 1824. This day consists of parades, drinking, bullfighting, and very, very much more. All of the celebration takes place in the capital city of Guanacaste. We have the Virgin of Los Angeles Day, which is August the 2nd. This is the origin. This holiday was created to honor the patron saint in Costa Rica. It is noted that millions of people make it a point to celebrate this holiday. This is when the people will climb the church steps on their knees, hoping it shows us some sort of favor. This is the largest religious holiday for Costa Rica. Pilgrims will march on their knees or on their feet in order to ask for their wish to be granted. Dia de los Inocentes, November 2nd. How Costa Ricans celebrate and how it's different. This is Costa Rica's version of the famous Day of the Dead, which originated in Mexico. This is a huge holiday where people pay tremendous amounts of respect to their loved ones who have passed on. There's more similarities and differences between the two. This holiday gives Costa Ricans a chance to remember their loved ones who have unfortunately passed. Masses usually happen in Catholic churches on this day. For the final thoughts on the holidays. Costa Rica has a large number of holidays and traditions, so it's difficult to only focus on a few. But the way I see it, it seems as though these holidays make the community come together in a way that I cannot even put into words. There's always a lot of dancing, a lot of food, there's also a lot of color, whether it be shown in the mask being worn or in the outfits.
Most popular tourist attractions. Planning a trip. Kale and Madison plan to go to Costa Rica. They want to check out different hotspots. Kale wants to see the beaches and get a tan and go surfing. He thinks that's what Costa Rica is all about, is the beaches. Madison agrees to this, but she says first she wants to check out a theater and one of the Costa Rican waterfalls, so she can take some good pictures. Kale agrees, and they mark down several spots on the map to go visit.
Teatro Nacional Costa Rica. The National Theater of Costa Rica, located in San Jose, was built in 1891. This theater has held many varieties of performances spanning from the orchestra to the ballet and many, many more.
La Fortuna Waterfall. A 200-feet waterfall that emerges from a jungle with a green pool below. Located in San Carlos, this tourist spot is known for its beauty and the pictures people can take at the spot. This is a must-see spot for Costa Rican tourists. Now to check out the beaches. Tamarindo Beach. Tamarindo Beach, located in none other than Tamarindo, is home to white sand beaches and blue crashing waves. Loved by family, tourists, and surfers alike. This is one of the finest beaches Costa Rica has to offer out of our next couple of locations. And I have to say, el agua es fantástica y las playas son hermosas. Adios and vámonos.
Next on the trip, we're planning to visit Playa Manuel Antonio, which is a beautiful national park best known for its views. This is home to many beaches that are loved by the locals and the tourists.
Jaco Beach, not to be confused with Taco Beach, nearby our last stop. It's best known for its beaches, its surfers, and also the sunsets and the nighttime atmosphere also look fantástica. End of the trip. By the end of the trip, both Kale and Madison are very satisfied with their stay and visit. They hope to someday return, very soon in fact. Las playas de Costa Rica son las mejores. Vámonos! The Daily Politics, going over Costa Rica's social and political issues that face the country. Polluted poverty. Poverty is one of the biggest issues for Costa Rica. An estimated 318,810 households live in poverty in Costa Rica. Added with the other issues, it does not help the country whatsoever. It doesn't also help that so much poverty leads to so much pollution. Next, we cover the drug epidemic. Costa Rica is seen as a transportation country, land in Costa Rica to distribute to many other bigger first world countries like, for example, the United States. This also means, unfortunately, that the cartel has a lot of power in Costa Rica, which also doesn't help our next issue, the political issues of Costa Rica. A lot of politicians in Costa Rica have a lot of sway and power within their politics, making it hard for simple social reform and giving simple human rights back to the people. This means that they're a bit behind some of the other countries out there. Finally, deforestation. There is a massive amount of deforestation in Costa Rica. A whopping 80% of their forests have disappeared, along with so many things that reside in those forests, like food, animals, and so much more. It is really sad to see a beautiful country like Costa Rica have to go through and experience each one of these problems, holding back the country from what it could amazingly be. Costa Rican fun facts. Numero uno. Costa Rica shares some similarities with Texas, like both having a San Marcos and both having Spanish be a very popular language.
Fact dos. Costa Rica has a population of over 5 million and a life expectancy of close to 77 years old, which is one of the highest in the world.
Numero 3. Costa Rica shows a lot of honor towards Juan Santa Maria, being a symbol of independence, just like our very own George Washington.
Fact 4. The national tree is a Guanacaste national flower of Gura Morada orchard.
Numero 5. In advance, sorry if this sounds bad. Costa Rica has been divided into 7 sections, being San Jose, Alajuela, Heredia, Cotiago, Guanacaste, Punta Arenas, and Limon. Again, sorry if any of those pronunciations were not the best. Final thoughts on the project and Costa Rica. I'm very glad we picked Costa Rica during this project. It made me want to visit the country someday. It seems to have beautiful beaches and great tasting food. What more could you ask for? One thing of note, I hope the country does not fall into the same pitfalls of other third world countries. I hope they clean up and restore themselves to make a Costa Rica an absolute must-travel spot like any of the other countries around the world. It absolutely deserves a spot on that list. And through research, I found out that they are making efforts to improve the deforestation of, problems. So, it seems like we're getting there.
Costa Rica has always caught my eye, and when I saw it as an option for this project, I was very excited to research it. There are so many interesting things in Costa Rica and embedded in their culture, whether it be food, holidays, or celebrations. It seems like a very, very great community. Las playas son hermosos, which will attract more tourists inevitably. I hope this aids the country in making everything stay steady, safe, and more positive. I plan to visit this gorgeous destination someday in my near future.